आज का हमारा जो लेसन है biblical studies है epistle to Romans. All students are required to put their attendance in the chat box. Okay, students, now we start our today's lecture that is about epistle to the Romans. The study of two epistles is in your syllabus, that is Romans and Ephesians. This is the first lecture about Pauline studies. Authorship and date. Paul is the author of this epistle. We can also pronounce as epistle or epistle. In English, mostly the Westerns and the Europeans, they pronounce this epistle, but I pronounce an epistle because it's a Greek letter, the Greek word. This letter was written by Apostle Paul, and the date is likely composed around AD 57 during Paul's third missionary journey while in Corinth. Audience means to whom this letter was written. Paul addressed this letter to the Christian community in Rome, and there was a mix of Jewish and Gentile believers. And the purpose of this epistle was to present Paul's theological views, to address tensions between Jewish and Gentile Christians, and to prepare for Paul's visit to Rome. These are three main purposes of writing this epistle to the Christian believers or the believers in Rome. Key themes. This epistle shows these major ideas or theologies of Paul. First is righteousness of God, in which central theme throughout the letter is shown that God's righteousness is introduced in this letter. Paul introduced God's righteousness. And then he moves on and shows the same righteousness in God's faithfulness and God's justice in Jesus Christ. Then Paul writes about justification by faith. He puts so much emphasis on faith in Jesus Christ for salvation. And the key verses are Romans chapter 3, verses 21 to 26. I would like to read these verses for you. Romans chapter 3, verses 21 to 26. I would like to show this in our Bible. Romans chapter 3, Paul writes in verses 21 onward. You see, this is the software, Logos. You can also download from the internet. It's a free. It has actual text on this side in Greek, and I have attached it with King James Version. Now, Paul writes about God's righteousness. Chapter 3, verses 23 to onward, I'm going to read for you. Here are the verses. You can see here. Sorry, this Romans chapter 3. By mistake, it was clicked on Acts. Romans chapter 3, verses 21. Here the verse you see here. But now the righteousness of God without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of God, which is by faith of Jesus Christ unto all and upon all them that believe. For there's no difference, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by the grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Now, this is the central verse of this epistle, and I will also share all those verses which are very important for the examination point of view, because in semester 6, I will also share the past papers. You will be given Greek text in the Bible, and you have to translate and exegete. You have to translate and exegete means you have to interpret the verses. You see here, Paul writes that there is a righteousness of God. Nune de choris nomu dikai usune teu pefa nerodai maturu mene hupotu nomu kato prophetor. Choris nomu. Choris mean without, nomu mean law. Dikai osune mean righteousness. Theu of God, righteousness of God. This is genitive case. In our Greek grammar, I have also given you the share my notes with you that these endings are very important for you to learn. When you see there's omicron and upsilon, it is u ending, the song, it shows the possessive case, the genitive case. Di kai osune, teu, righteousness of God. Pefa nerotai, pefa nerotai. It means has been revealed. God's righteousness is revealed. In the verse, in the translation, you can see, but now the righteousness of God is manifested. So the word pefa nerotai is a passive. It is manifested. Choris nomu, without the law. Without law. Law means not the law which we have in our courts. It is the law of Moses. Without the law. Nune, now, day, but. Day is a particle that gives a contrast between what Paul said in the previous verses, and now he is introducing a new thing, a new idea from verse 21 and onward. He is introducing God's righteousness. In Old Testament, we know the importance of righteousness. We know that Abraham, he believed in God, and God counted his faith as righteousness. That righteousness is not based on the works, on your own human efforts. This is what God wants. This is Paul's thesis. This is Paul's view. What he writes in this epistle to Romans, because the audience was a mixed audience. There were Jews and there was also Romans and other. And there was a debate among them whether we have to do good works, we have to follow Mosaic law, and then we are justified. But Paul says, no, this is not law. This is God's righteousness. God has shown his own righteousness. So in these verses, from 21 to onward, he writes, but now the righteousness of God without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. Now, in the Greek text, he said, martu rumene, martu rumene, witness, martyrio. What martyrio mean? Witness. Hupo by, to normu by the law, kai ton propheton, and the prophets. Now, he explains his thesis that this righteousness of God, it is mentioned in the Old Testament, and God, and through his prophets and the Mosaic law, he justifies, he witnesses such kind of righteousness, which Paul is introducing in this epistle. This is the very important verse. And last year, or I think it was in our syllabus, and I know that this verse was given in the exam for the explanation. But you to focus. You are not going to read all epistle in Greek language, but I will share the important verses. You have to learn Greek texts, their meaning, and how to explain them. Explanation mean you have to explain each and every word. For example, here I say nune. Nune mean now, it is adverbial, it is adverb of time, temporal, and day is a particle. It has two meanings. It also means and, it also means but. Now, this is up to you how you translate this day, whether it is and or it is but. Here, King James Version is he's translated it as a but. But means a contrast. So day has dual meaning. Sometimes it will be used as a continuity. It means the idea is going on, the idea is flowing, the idea is in progress. But when a writer uses day, sometimes he makes sure that the idea in the previous verses is going on. He will also use day. But sometimes the writer will use day. It means to show a contrast, to show something opposite, something which is totally opposite, which is written in the previous or before that text. That's why it is a new paragraph. And you see here, he is arguing about the works, the law of Moses, and then he is talking about righteousness of God. So he says, but now the righteousness of God without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and prophets. It means already all the prophets and Torah and Old Testament Mosaic law, they both testify God's righteousness. There is a mention in the Old Testament that one day God will justify the people without the works. It is God's grace, God's gift for the world. That's why we also, when we study, when we read Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 16, God so loved the world that he gives only begotten Son. No, that verse is very important verse of John also is focusing. John is also telling that it's God's love. God loved the world, so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. God gave his own Son as a righteousness. So Paul is showing the same idea here. It means Paul's theology and John's theology, they are the same. You can say the same. Paul is also writing the same idea which John says, that God's love for the world, that he gave his Son. And Paul also says that it is not your own work, it's not your deed. Old Testament, we see we have to do or not to do. In Old Testament, all the Mosaic law, all the commandments, they are half to do and some are not to do. God say do this and sometimes they don't do this. There's only doing and not doing. But here, God only wants you to have faith in his righteousness, in his Son. Paul, he was a rabbi, he was a Pharisee, and he was an expert of law. When he was encountered by Jesus Christ on the way to Damascus, you see, he heard this voice, Paul, why are you teasing me? Why are you against my people? You are annoying me. And he said, Lord, who are you? That Jesus said, I am Yeshua, I am Jesus, whom you are anointing. So here Paul was purified, all his knowledge about the Torah and all the laws. God purified all things and he knew what is the meaning of law. Law also testifies that there is God's righteousness. A time will come when God will show his own righteousness to the world. And verse 22 is even the righteousness of God which is by faith of Jesus Christ. Now, there is also a debate among the scholars. Verse 22, Di kai osune de teu dia pistios Jesu Christu, espantas tu pistio ontas. Di kai usune means righteousness. De, teu. Here, de mean for and not but. But see, in the two verses, verse 21 is also using the same particle de, and in 22 it is again a de, but the meaning is different. Here de means but here de means for, because dikai usne de theo, for righteousness of God, dia means through, pistios mean the faith, Jesu Christu, of Jesus Christ. Now, translation is here, even the righteousness of God, which is by faith of Jesus Christ. It is the faith of Jesus Christ. Now, the debate is here. Some scholars, they believe that it is not our faith, it is faith of Jesus Christ, and that faith was given to us, and by Jesus' faith we are saved. But some scholars say no, it is our faith in Jesus Christ. Now there are two types of debate, two types of faith. One says that our faith in Jesus Christ, and second, Jesus' faith, which is imparted in us, which is given to us. Now here it is up to you and up to the readers how they interpret this idea. Now we see that here de is also translated as even or for, di kai osune de theo dia pistios Jesu Christu, even and for God's righteousness through the faith of Jesus Christ or faith in Jesus Christ. Now this is up to you. In examination, I will ask such kind of exegetical questions. What do you think? What should be the translation? It should be the faith of Jesus Christ or faith in Jesus Christ. Now, it is up to you how you interpret, how you give explanations about that. Now, we move forward. Even the righteousness of God, which is by faith of Jesus Christ unto all and upon all them that believe. Now, here, Paul also discloses the things, the idea, the faith, the fact. He says, faith of Jesus Christ unto all and upon all them. Now, this is the key of understanding. Faith of Jesus Christ unto all and above all them. Here, what say? Es pantas, tus pistiontas. Pistiontas is participle. It means one who believes, the believers, the people who believe in Jesus Christ. Faith of Jesus Christ is into all the believers. Es is a preposition. It has many meaning. It means its a literal meaning is into, going into. Faith of this guy unto all or into all. Now, idea is there. King James Version translated this verse. This is faith of Jesus Christ, which was imparted, which was given to all the believers. It was given to all who believe. It means you have a faith, you have a belief, you have faith in you, but that faith is not enough for your salvation. God puts his own faith, Jesus Christ's faith, into you. Now, this is a very difficult thing. These are very difficult things. We cannot say with certainty what actually it means, but it is the deep study of scriptures and language. It is up to you how you distinguish, how you put the arguments. That's why I am teaching you these languages, because in future, if God, it's God's will, if you become a pastor or you minister in a church, you should know how to interpret the text, how to translate the text. Okay, fine. Now come let's proceed. Verse 23. Now it is clear that Paul is is emphasizing the idea that the righteousness of God, which is by faith of Jesus Christ, and that faith is imparted unto all and upon all them that believe. It means you have two kind of faith. One, we as a believer, we believe in Jesus Christ. It's okay, fine. But God puts faith of Jesus Christ into us. And because of that faith, God's righteousness works in us and we are justified. I think is it clear for you? Okay. Now, verse 23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Verse 23, Pantes God. God means for. God also is a particle mean is a conjunction mean for. Pantes all. Hematon. All have sinned. Kai husteruntai. Tes doc says to Theu. All have sinned and they fall short of glory. Tes doc says. Doc says is genitive case. Is in feminine. Doc says to Theu of God. Glory of God. It means glory and it means God. Glory of God. And fall short of the glory of God. Kai and hosteruntai. It is hard breathing. In semester 2 or 4, I asked a question in the youth exam. What is hard breathing? Hard breathing, this symbol, it is always on the vowels or diphthongs in the beginning, the start of the word. When a word starts with a word, it has a breathing sign, the hard breathing or it is soft breathing. And this symbol is a hard breathing that gives the hissing sound. It gives the sound of H. This sound is a hus ta runtai kai hus ta runtai they doxin and they fall short of God. That's why because this verb that requires a genitive case after that. That's why doxes is also in genitive case. And they fall short of glory of God. All have sinned. God means for, because it's give you cause why it happened. All have sinned. Why? Because the sin of Adam and Eve, their disobedience, that was the main cause. Their disobedience, it was transferred to their progeny, to their children, and that is going on. That is the original sin that is still is found in all human beings. That sin, that hamartia, that is the cause of falling the glory. You see that when Adam and Eve, they ate the forbidden fruit from the tree, God asked them not to eat, otherwise you will die. And after eating, what happened? They didn't die. They feel them then naked. They were naked. Already they were naked. They have no garments on their body. But what happened? Fall short of glory. The glory of God was covering their bodies. Actually, it was God's glory which was over them. That's why they were not feeling shy. They were naked, but they were not feeling shy because God's glory was upon them. But due to sin, they fall short of the glory. The glory disappeared from their bodies and they felt that they were naked. These verses are very important. You have to explain all these things in the exam. If I give you an exam, you have to explain just like I'm explaining all these things. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by grace. Now, this is verse 24, where God is showing his love. Dikai umenoi dorion tes autu charity. The word charity means grace. Charis from the word charis. Dikai umeni, justified. Dorian, freely. Te autu charity. Te is dative case. Autu means his. Charity means the grace. Now, the translation is being justified This is dekai omenoi. It is again participle, passive participle. Being justified freely, Dorian. Dorian mean freely, free of cost. God didn't ask anything to give him back. It is all free. God put all these things free of cost, because uh, Jesus' blood on the cross is all the payments. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us on the cross, and that's why that is the main cause of this free gift. Being justified freely by His grace. It is out to mean His grace, God's grace. Diates apolou apolou trosios. The word is apolou trosios. Apolou trosios. Tes en Christo Jesu. This is the symbol is called iota subscript. It shows the dative case, and the dative case is also this is also Yesu. It is also genitive case. It's also dative case. And whenever you see the word "n," epsilon nu with the soft breathing, this is called soft breathing. Soft breathing means it has no sound, but it is compulsory to write on every wall. If the word start with a wall, it has a breathing, but it's a soft breathing and a hard breathing. You see, this is soft breathing. Soft breathing is here, and whenever there is and mean in is a preposition. After that, this and there is always dative case. So that's why Christo Jesu is in dative case. Dia mean through is also part is a preposition. Tes apolou trosios. Apolou trosios. Being justified freely by His grace through the redemption. This means redemption of redemption. That is in Jesus Christ. Says dia is called dia means through the redemption through Jesus Christ or in Jesus Christ. So this is the work of Jesus Christ on the cross. He laid down his life for all mankind. And it is compulsory for all humanity to believe on his death and his resurrection. If we believe in Jesus Christ, that he died for me and you and all humanity on the cross, and he was buried, and then he was risen from the tomb, 3 days. That is the victory over the tomb and Satan and all the Sheol. This is all the cause of why we are justified. God gave his righteousness. God justified us freely with his own grace. This is grace. Grace means God's gift, free gift for us, and that is through redemption, the redemptive work of Jesus Christ on the cross. So, dear all, why today I have analyzed this Greek text for you, because this is called exegetical analysis. How you take the words, how you find out their roots, their grammatical form, what are the possible meanings, what is coming out of the text, because exegesis means what is coming out of text. This is in your syllabus. If you know what is syllabus, I'm going to show the syllabus once again for you. Please look at here. What is the syllabus for you? You see, it's before you. This is the 6th semester. You see, Introduction to Exegesis and Hermeneutics of New Testament and Study Pauline Epistle. This is exegesis. This is your syllabus. This is called exegesis. How we exegete, how we have to study each and every word in the Greek text and what is the possible meanings which are coming out of the text. I think it's enough for today. This time is over because I have received a message on the Zoom link. I will show. I will yeah, share this video for you on the YouTube. Today's lectures, you have to comment in the comment box. I always request you, when you watch or listen, do subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please share our videos with other students also, and please do comments. You have to comment. Okay, if you feel any problem, if you think that some things are not clear, please do comment in the comment box. I am ready for that. Okay, God bless you all. we will soon meet again because I will not stop teaching you until your final exam. Okay, stay blessed. Goodbye.